What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's get straight into things. So you'll see that price reversed just as we anticipated. When I say reverse, I don't mean like a full-on reversal, but we're pulling back in the range, getting that Thursday reversal for the week, which is what we anticipated. Very nice to see. And what I have got my eyes set on now is this gap. So if you remember earlier in the week, I did bring our attention to this, and I said I wanted to see price respect it. Obviously, price didn't respect it. We traded through it on the downside on the Wednesday, and then we've came back up through it on Thursday. So now when price returns back to it, I'm anticipating this to provide support for price that can then hopefully help us that can help send us higher into this fair value gap that we have formed right here. So yeah, we're treating it as an inversion fair value gap. Let's drop down to the 4-hour, and you'll see this beautiful expansion we had today. And then again, this is that fair value gap on the daily. So we can start to home in on this daily fair value gap. You see there's a 4-hour fair value gap within inside of it. I'd like to think that price can try and reach up to that on Friday. And again, I'm looking at this inversion fair value gap, the yellow box, to provide support. If price drops below the 50% level of this, I probably won't be as confident in it, and I'll probably stay out the charts. But ideally, so long as price stays above that, I'm happy to expect more expansion on the Friday to run us into these highs. Relative equal highs here and that fair value gap. So we will drop down to the 1-hour, and you'll see the daily dividers as well. Beautiful day today, ran up higher. And again, look at how price is closing above this daily inversion fair value gap. This is really nice to see, and again, more reason as to why I'm expecting us to find support on top of it. Don't get me wrong, price can trade through it, and if it does, that's telling us straight that we're probably going to run a bit lower. But the fact that we have high impact news tomorrow, the fact that we reversed as we anticipated on the Thursday, this is all supporting why I want to see if we can reach up into this premium fair value gap up here tomorrow. But yeah, let's drop to the 15-minute. You'll see we just gapped lower to open, but we're in a bit of a consolidation. You'll see there's a breaker here, low, high, low, low, lined up with the midpoint. So again, I'm watching this midpoint very carefully tomorrow. Any lower than that, and I'm not getting involved. It's as simple as that. But so long as we stay above, I'd like to think we can run up into a nice premium. 5-minute, again, a little bit of consolidation. But I'm looking at this range right here to help provide support. And what's very interesting as well, and I'll show you this, is look at how this wicked down below this low. This is what we call institutional sponsorship. I do need to talk about this in a later video, but as soon as I saw this happen at 3 o'clock in the London session, I knew from then on price doesn't need to come back down into this discount. It's mitigated these lows. So like, this is like a form of support. It's like confluence. It's sponsorship. Like, now that we've taken out these lows and we've look at this expansion away from it, we need to look at how price is moving. Very expansive, ran out these highs, came back into the order block, and then from then on we've been treading on higher. So as far as I'm concerned, price shouldn't need to come back down here for the rest of the week, especially since weekly profiles don't really play out like that, and we haven't even taken out that Wednesday high, which is what I'm aiming for. So again, that's another reason I'm looking for that high to get snatched. But again, it all depends on how we treat this range right here. Any lower than that, and yeah, whole different story. But I do like the fact that we did just about grab that low, and I do need to talk on this a little bit more, because what you'll find is this breaker, this last up close candle before the down move, if we drag that out, look at how price treats it. We traded into it, and look at how we turned inside of it absolutely gorgeously. And then we just wicked down to the bottom of it and left it. So this is where the change in the state of delivery happened, and that's why it's such a significant price level. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. Hope that all makes sense. Let's head on to GBP USD. We will go on the daily. Now GBP traded on higher. Where did we go to? I can't remember what I drew our attention to, but nonetheless, we didn't close lower as much as dollar did. So I'm expecting GBP to actually offer us that on the Friday. What I am going to do, let's just clear the charts for now. And although we have relative equal highs, I'm not too fussed about these highs getting taken this week. We can think about that later, maybe next week or something. But right now, if we're expecting higher dollar, we need to look where could pound retrace back into. And you'll see we have this beautiful fair value gap down here. Now, if we are going to trade into that, I want to see pound respect the 50% level of Thursday's wick. So we'll get that marked out as well as a premium. And now we have a range as to where we're looking for price to respect and where we want to aim to trade to. So let's drop down to the 4-hour. And you'll see that consequent encroachment level right here also lines up with this bearish order block, which is Not really the cleanest, but as we drop down to low time frames, we can take a close look at that. But this low right here, I'll be looking to see if that can get tagged. South side liquidity, and again, clear imbalance right here. That price would I'd like to see price try and draw to on the Friday. 1 hour, you can see we're just trading back up into this range. So between this high and this low, this is all a breaker. So breakers, although I always say it's the last down close candle, it can take up a whole range because it's just the last. This high to this low is just an order block, but broken down. So the fact that we're trading back inside of that is very classic of price, and I'm happy for price to stay within it. And again, the consequent encroachment, this is the very highest I want to see price trade for me to remain bearish on pound, so long as it's in line with dollar. What you'll also find is that there is an implied fair value gap. I haven't really drew our attention to these recently just because they're a bit complex and don't really hold for much. But let's go down to the 15-minute. And you'll see how a fair value gap is just below that as well. So again, there's reason as to why price may want to return to this range. Another thing as well, we've got a breaker here, high, low, higher high, this last down close candle. So right now I think we are pretty much just playing around in a massive breaker. So I'm waiting for that expansion outside of it, but I don't think pound's going to offer much movement. Nonetheless, so long as dollar does respect the PDRA, this inversion fair value gap, I'm happy for GBP to respect this, and then we can look for shorts, like I said, into that south side and into this daily fair value gap. So I hope that all makes sense on pound. Pound didn't move very nicely today compared to euro, and you'll see. But yeah, let's head on to euro USD. Beautiful trade here. It was on demo, but nonetheless, we can talk. If you want me to explain this move right here, I will try and get a separate video made about it. Do drop a comment below and leave a like on this video, and I will make a separate video explaining this beautiful move. But nonetheless, euro traded so gorgeously today, guys. Definitely join the Discord if you haven't already. I am going to get rid of the charts, and you'll see that we closed lower in line with dollar as well. So what does this mean? Well, obviously, if we're expecting higher dollar, we want to see, can euro now dip down into the rest of this fair value gap, which is right here. Let me just get rid of these executions, which is right here. And then we have a bearish order block, which is right here. So this is the bearish order block open. I'd like to think that price can respect this because it's a daily bearish order block open. The very highest, I want to see price trade mean threshold, but ideally we don't even get to that. So when I draw our attention to mean thresholds, although I'm saying price can trade to it, it's ideal that it doesn't, just because it shows weakness of the order block if it doesn't. The opening, the midpoint, and the close of order blocks are the most sensitive points. The opening, midpoint, and close. So that's why I expect them to respect these levels. It's just that if it respects the opening, it's going to be a much more high probability of a nice move, as opposed to this, because that shows weakness. It shouldn't need to, ideally it doesn't need to get that deep. Nonetheless, let's go down to the 4 hour, and you'll see there is a little bit of an inversion fair value gap between this high and this low, but we don't need to bother mark that out. Nonetheless, we have a nice large wick on the downside. So again, price trading into that will be an example of price rebalancing. These down close candles, breaker, high, low, wow, high, low, high, high, low, low. So like, this range again is another breaker range, so I'm happy for price to, trade on higher. Let's go to the 1 hour, see what we can find. Not the cleanest of price. Oh, okay, right. So this is interesting. This is very interesting actually. So this kind of price action like this, price is delivered on the upside, downside, upside, downside, upside, downside. So when price returns to it, we're expecting resistance. Ideally, price shouldn't get back through it. The reason we don't want to see price get back through this, in fact, if it does, we're probably bullish, because seeing this kind of price action like that, when price starts ziggy-zaggying like that, it should provide strong resistance. So we do need to take that into account moving into the new day. I'm happy for price to rally inside of that range, and obviously there's a fair value gap up here. Let's make it a different color. But generally, the fact that we have this level right here is now pretty much irrelevant to me, because I'm looking to see, okay, can we just continue respecting that range? Because look at this. This is what's the word? It's been this range has been rebalanced, and we've closed on the downside below it. So as far as I'm concerned, price should continue to respect that. If it doesn't, and we trade through it, then it means something else, doesn't it? Because as far as I'm concerned, it should act as an inversion order block, basically. So we want to see price struggle. So moving into tomorrow, any kind of rallying we see on euro, whilst dollar ideally is, creating some kind of low, any kind of rally, and I want it to really struggle in here to help send us lower into our fair value gap and try and get that filled. Here's another gap on the 15-minute, so it'll be nice to see if we can trade down into that. So yeah, that's going to be everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. It is bank holiday next week. I don't think I'll have a video out until about Tuesday. Yeah, I probably won't have a video out until Tuesday, so don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, turn the post notifications on, watch some backtesting videos, and join the Discord. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.